Hey guys, so I'm sure many of you are aware the movie It is coming out. It's based on a novel by Stephen King under the same name and also from a 1990s miniseries. I was a huge fan of the miniseries and I've also seen a lot of the trailers of this film and it looks great. So I just wanted to make a video to talk a little bit about that. It kind of reminds me, the creature Pennywise anyway, kind of reminds me of uh, the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, in the sense that it can move between dimensions, kind of. It can sort of do things that are sort of out there compared to what you would expect a regular, everyday, I guess you could say, monster to do. And the thing about Pennywise is that it can also create hallucinations based on its enemies, victims. Based on its victims or prey's fears. It can project those fears in some way, manifest itself into those fears, which is a very scary thing, especially considering Pennywise is already terrifying by himself just with his smile and the way that he speaks. Tim Curry did a great job, of course, as Pennywise in the miniseries, but it's also true that Skarsgård is, based on the trailers, it seems like he's going to do a great job too, so I'm definitely looking forward to this thing. Basically, you can even see in the middle of one of these trailers certain aspects that I go over and over again, and I just notice them here and there. One, for example, is where the crew said that the creature, it, or Pennywise, likes to, it has to sort of salivate when it's around the kids or when it's around any of its victims, because that's how much it wants to devour them. It actually salivates because it's just, I guess, thinking about eating them or eating. Essentially, I think it feeds off of their fears, so it eats the energy from them. But the more afraid a victim is, I think the more it projects great fears onto the victim, and that makes, I guess, it more palatable for Pennywise. Either way, that's scary as hell. Just the idea of a evil, sadistic, demonic being essentially chasing some town kids around, small towns kids, and projecting their own fears onto them while it does so. Very terrifying. If you look at the new trailers, you'll see exactly why it's pretty out there and scary. The miniseries didn't necessarily do the clown justice, the It clown. I would say that Tim Curry did. He did a great job, but honestly, this new movie being rated R and all the things that they can get away with, it really sort of shows, I think, what Stephen King envisioned into his mind when he created the Pennywise the clown, as well as all the other manifestations of it. He definitely had an idea of the sort of inescapable monster that's chasing you. You know, like you can run but can't hide type of thing. These kids feel like they're prisoners in this little town, and they're constantly being chased by this horrible, horrible creature. And I have to admit, I do not envy them. I think I would probably do better off even against the Demogorgon and Stranger Things than I would against this thing. You can tell I'm also kind of looking forward to Stranger Things, which is coming in around Halloween. So both this movie and Stranger Things are right up my alley, and if I do make more videos on this channel, they might be related to those, as well as some other interests I have. But yeah, just looking at these trailers, they look amazing. I'm going to try to include some pictures with this audio. And so yeah, we're dealing with some kids called the Losers Club, and they're fighting against this malevolent creature that does nothing more than stalk them, create fears out of thin air based upon what they are thinking. Essentially, it can read their minds, basically, and it just hunts them endlessly. And this town has seen so many kidnappings, people dying, and even the people in the town are just, they're either apathetic to what's going on because of some kind of curse of some kind that Pennywise is putting over them, or some cases it looks like they're outright, at least in the trailer, it looks like they're outright sadistic themselves, like they're being controlled by Pennywise. You can even see in the library scene, it looks like and I don't think many people caught this, I don't know for sure, but it looks like even the librarian in the background is just looking at Ben and just laughing at him. You know, it makes you wonder if maybe it made her push the balloon over, because I could, you know, just sort of mess with him, basically mess with his mind, actually having her do that without her even fully being aware of it. Not that it couldn't do it itself, but it obviously likes to take over people in the town, because it makes sense. If you're being chased by a creature that's going to project your greatest fears onto you and make you hallucinate all kinds of horrible things, the last thing that you want to do is be surrounded by people who are also controlled by that creature, who just are, that feels like they're in on it, sort of, you know. And I'm sure that level of paranoia that makes the kids feel, along with all the hallucinations and everything, definitely adds to the scary factor for them. So yeah, also you can also see the mummy. I'm glad to see, speaking of Ben in the library, that is, uh, that the mummy actually does make it. It looks like into one of the trailers, and I admit, I didn't really grow up in the '50s. Obviously, I'm much younger than that, and I didn't really grow up during the time when mummy movies were huge. You know, like a lot of the vintage classic mummy movies. So I haven't really grown up with those, so I couldn't really see how mummies could ever really be scary. To me, they're just slow and boring. But I have to admit, seeing this scene with Ben running from the mummy down the aisleway in the library, that shit looks terrifying. The way it's just sort of like limping quickly towards him. It's not slow. It's moving as fast as it can, but it's like some corpse essentially wrapped up, just limping its way towards him as fast as it can. And just, if you look at its movements in the trailer, it is pretty scary looking. So yeah, overall, this is something I'm looking forward to. I hope you guys are too. What do you guys think of this commentary, of this video? What kind of topics are you guys interested in? I'm thinking about creating a channel here, expanding it, with more commentary and various things here and there. Mainly, right now, I'm kind of sticking to things that I know, since I'm still pretty much new to this. Stranger Things, I'm into, of course, It, you already know that. Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, things like that. I also like, in terms of games, I like various games, mostly though, not really. Some shoot 'em ups, but mostly like simulation games, things. Say Skylines, for example. I'm also interested in some Paradox games like Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis 4, and Crusader Kings 2, that is. And maybe Victoria 2 as well. So I don't know. There are some different things I'm interested in, and I just want to know what it is that you guys are looking for. So let me know. I hope you like this video.